I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. Oh, I didn't see you there. My name's... And I'm here to tell you about a couple of stories. This is gonna be story time. Story time, you heard me right? Story time. So let's get that. Let's get that, story momentum. So, I was merely a child. A small, innocent child. About the size of the other guy who's editing this video. About that size, maybe bigger, but I was a child, like 5 years old, 4, 3, I don't know, but real young, real tiny boy. And I was hanging around because my sisters are soccer players, so that essentially means that they were doing soccer. So you know what they do, they play soccer. So, of course, the reasonable response to having a 4-year-old child is to let them hang out with the other kids. Since we're not going to watch soccer games, who watch soccer games? The only people that watch soccer games are men going through their midlife crisis and 12-year-olds who have nothing better to do. Anywho, I was hanging around with those kids playing their own game of soccer until suddenly I managed to find myself in a quiet predicament. Predicament. You see, the predicament was that there was a fence. So basically, you know, one of those big metal fences, those quite humongous, large fences. One of those big fences, like one of those, like real big fences. The fences that are supposed to keep all the Mexicans from stealing your soccer balls and going back to the country so that they could play expert games of soccer. Anywho. Those big metal fences, not those like spiky metal fences, more like those like grid pattern types of fences. And so what I did was I was hanging around there. We were like playing our own game of soccer, and I managed to find myself quite near the fence. Like imagine this right here is the fence, this entire invisible area at this point, and I was right here. I managed to find myself whack right across the fence and scraping my freaking head. Now, as a 4-year-old child, my only reasonable response, getting sliced across my freaking forehead and blood dripping down my face, was to do nothing about it. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Cry? Mama ain't raised no loser. Anywho, I'm sidetracking here. Anywho, one of my people that were playing with soccer were nearby, and they decided to go ask my parents. Right across here, watching a soccer game with my sisters, it says, in the most serious and quite frankly monotone voices, ma'am, your child that I'll be playing with, yeah, he scratched himself. And so, the only reasonable response my parents would do, especially learning that your child is potentially in serious danger, both medically and physically, those are the same exact things, is to freaking rush him straight to the hospital. Luckily though, after getting to the hospital with like a real fast car, a guy on the soccer field who was sort of a medic, I guess, patching me up real roughly, and having it all fixed, the doctor stated that I was not in any serious danger. I was just in large amounts of blood loss towards the forehead, because your top hair area is filled with large amounts of veins, so I guess they must have burst one of those veins. They just needed to patch it up, and it would be all good. Of course, in a medical industry in 2000 and I don't know, freaking 10, the reasonable response to medical room is to come close. Staple my forehead. No, they weren't gonna like patch it up normally. They were gonna freaking grab one of those like freaking office staplers and they're gonna punch it on my forehead like a maniac in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. So of course that wasn't logical response, and the doctor immediately said, well, we wouldn't need to do that. We could just glue it. Glue it! No. Glue my freaking head, my forehead, my upper area, my scalp with like freaking super glue that Timmy uses to glue up his science project that's due next week. No, to use my freaking forehead and to ensure that it doesn't collapse. Sorry we reached slight technical difficulties at the last of the sentence. My phone cannot handle that long of a recording session. Anywho, back to the story. My forehead. You see, like my topper scalp. My scalp. My scalp. Oh, yes. Scalp. Yeah. Anywho. So, that's the story of how I got a really bad mark on my forehead that is essentially just a bald spot. And how I managed to have the worst wound, possibly the worst possible wound a human can get. And I still cry getting stubbing my toe on a metal pipe. Anywho, that was the end of this. I wasn't really reviewing anything, because if I reviewed anything on the review networks, that would be gay. Anywho, this is the end of me signing off. That was signing off, and I'll see you later. The chances of you... Hey, you've ever thought of that? Okay, this is messed up.